My 40s are a lot different than I thought they'd be when I was still in my 20s. On the one hand, I have a much deeper understanding of why my dad liked naps so much when I was a kid. I've learned not to ever fall asleep in an awkward position if I want to be able to walk the next day. I can't just eat whatever I want anymore if I don't want to suffer the horrible consequences either. However, I'm also a lot more aware and secure in myself than I thought I'd be at this age. I'm calmer. I don't swear at the small stuff nearly as much. And I've learned a thing or three about life that I wish I'd understood a lot earlier on. Here are some of the more important ones. Do yourself a favor and get this stuff straight now, so you don't have to do what I did and learn the hard way. When I was younger, I was super concerned about whether or not I was keeping up with other people my age when it came to the big milestones in life. I was never what you'd call an overachiever, so I didn't care whether I was the first of my friends to get married or land my dream job. I just knew I wasn't cool with being the last. That meant I jumped headfirst into things that deserved a lot more thought and consideration. I rushed into marriage in my mid-20s and wound up divorced by 29. I pushed myself to take on huge responsibilities I wasn't ready for way too soon in life, and I wound up with bad credit it took me my entire 30s to fix. Now, I couldn't even tell you why I did those things or what the big rush even was. Don't waste your 20s rushing to become your parents. You'll look back one day and regret simply being young when you had the chance to be. There's no set age by which you have to find your ultimate bliss in life, own a home, choose a life partner, or anything else major. For some people, myself included, that ideal time is a little later in life. For others, it's never, because they get older, gain some perspective, and realize they don't even want those things. So don't waste your 20s rushing to become your parents. You'll look back one day and regret simply being young when you had the chance to be. Like a lot of very shy young boy, I spent a lot more time reading books and watching movies than I did having real-life experiences and meaningful interactions with other people. That gave me the impression that my life was eventually going to play out like the stories I love so much, and that I wouldn't have to do anything special to help it happen. My life was legitimately hard for me when I was young for lots of reasons, but it never occurred to me to try to rise above it so I'd be able to build myself a better one eventually. Instead, I fantasized about the day someone else would love me enough to do it for me. I thought one day my emotionally unavailable parents would suddenly become different people and want to help me out in life the way my friends' parents helped them. Or that whenever that perfect partner finally materialized, he'd take care of me and provide for me. That way, I'd never have to step out of my comfort zone, try anything scary or new, and figure out life for myself. If you do luck out one day and meet someone who'd love to give you an awesome life just because you're you, trust that they're going to expect you to pitch in one way or another. People get tired of being the only horse on the team who's actively working to pull the wagon. Well, life doesn't work like that, so if you think this way, it's to your benefit to get it sorted now while you're still young. Princess in a Tower disease isn't a good look on someone who's in their 30s, and it's an even worse one on someone middle-aged or older. Don't be fooled either. You don't have to have been a young girl who enjoyed Disney princess movies a little bit too much to have this issue, so it's worth asking yourself some questions. Are you an aspiring creative who's banking so hard on being discovered one day that you're not actively seeking out and seizing opportunities? Are you coasting through life because you assume you'll eventually inherit money or property when your parents croak? Are you a parent who thinks your kids are going to grow up one day and undo all your mistakes for you? If so, it's time to grow up, No one is out there chomping at the bit to save you from your apathy and who'd love to give you an awesome life just because you're you. Trust that they're going to expect you to pitch in and help on one level or another. People get tired of being the only horse on the team who's actively working to pull the wagon. Always do your share and pull your weight, even if no one asked you to. My mother has this huge beef with people who spend money on stuff like concert tickets, vacations, or special dinners at restaurants. She reasoned that once you've gone to that concert, it's over and you have nothing tangible to show for it, meaning the tickets were a huge waste of money. If you had to spend money on fun, you bought things instead, objects. Unlike the concert tickets, you'll have the things you buy potentially forever, especially if you take care of them. That's the approach to disposable income and leisure time that I grew up with and lived by for years. And as with that vet tech job I never truly wanted, I couldn't figure out why all this crap I was buying wasn't making me as happy as it was supposed to. Part of it had to do with the hard truth that most stuff becomes pretty useless sooner or later. If it doesn't break or wear out, it becomes obsolete. Like the massive cassette collection that was my world when I was in my teens. Same for all the knickknacks I spent my 20s collecting. Stuff becomes pretty useless sooner or later. If it doesn't break or wear out, it becomes obsolete. Memories are a different story, though. Most of the physical objects I spent so much money on when I was younger hit a landfill years ago. But I still remember the concerts I went to, the vacations I took, and the festivals I attended like they were yesterday. Those memories and the way I felt when I was creating them are as shiny and precious to me today as they were back then. So are the ways some of those experiences changed me as a person. These days, I never think back on the past and regret not buying some trendy piece of clothing that I probably wouldn't even have worn, or yet another statue to sit on my bookshelf collecting dust. I think about that trip to Romania I had the opportunity to take in college, but ultimately passed on. I think about the time I went to Mexico on a cruise and let my stick-in-the-mud ex talk me out of riding a burro up a dirt trail while I was there. It makes me sad that I don't have those memories to look back on, especially since I may never have those same opportunities again. But the good news is I learned to just go ahead and do the things I want to do in life, even if it means doing them alone. The memories and cool stories last a lifetime. Speaking of memories, I've learned that it's not always obvious when you're creating one that's going to mean a lot to you one day. Everyone knows their wedding day or the day their child is born is a big deal, and that they'll remember that for the rest of their life. Some of my favorite memories are the ones that kind of snuck up on me at the time, though. I'm talking about the time my husband and I drove out to our favorite barbecue spot on Memorial Day one year and spent the whole day there, even though it got super cold and started to snow unexpectedly. I mean, the day I was walking by the beach with my friends as a teenager in the fog, saw a seal, and thought for a split second that it was a mermaid. There's the time I signed up for an online film appreciation class on a whim and realized I still love learning as an adult, and the week a random frog lived underneath my bedroom window and made me happy every night with all his little frog noises. Those are some of the moments and occurrences that turned out to mean the most to me over the years. I couldn't even tell you why, but there's something magical about them. Something that suggests they're what life is truly all about. They were little things that became big because they had meaning, especially if they were also shared with someone I loved. Thanks for tuning in to today's video. If you found these harsh truths as enlightening as I did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit subscribe for more content like this. Remember, it's never too late to start living life on your own terms. Embrace who you are, make memories, and cherish the little moments that make life truly special. Until next time, stay true to yourself and keep seeking those moments of magic. Take care.